The barista's secret asterisk. My name is Claire, and I'm 26 years old. I work as a barista in a small coffee shop tucked into the busy downtown of my city. I love my job more than words can say. Every single day, I meet new faces, pull espresso shots, and laugh with the regulars who have become like family to me. The shop is loud, chaotic, and always moving, but somehow that energy feels like home. The people I work beside aren't just coworkers. They're my chosen family. A few months ago, everything changed the moment Ryan walked through that door. Ryan was a novelist. He came in almost every single day, laptop tucked under his arm, ready to disappear into his writing for hours. He was quiet, reserved, the kind of man who chose his words carefully, but when he spoke, there was warmth behind every sentence. He always claimed the same table, the one by the window, where he could watch the street while he typed away at whatever story was living in his head that day. Slowly, we started talking about books, about writing, about life in general. It felt easy, natural, like something I hadn't realized I was missing. His calm presence became something I looked forward to, something that made the long shifts feel lighter. But here's the thing, I didn't know anything about his personal life. Not really. He never mentioned a relationship, never mentioned a family. We just talked about work, novels, and our go-to coffee orders. I loved our conversations more than I probably should have admitted, even to myself. Before long, I found myself counting down the hours until I'd see him walk through that door again. I started wondering if maybe, just maybe, there was something more between us, if he felt it too. Then one night, my phone rang. A woman's voice, one I didn't recognize, was on the other end. She said her name was Sophie. She said she was Ryan's wife. My heart stopped. She told me she'd noticed how much Ryan and I had been talking at the coffee shop, and she wanted to reach out directly. "Is this Claire?" she asked. My voice shook as I answered, "Yes, that's me." "I'm Sophie," she said. "I'm Ryan's wife. We've been married for 6 years." I froze. I had absolutely no idea Ryan was married. Not a clue. "I've been watching what's been going on," she continued, her voice steady but strained. "I just need to know there's nothing more between you two. I don't want to lose him." I didn't know what to say. I had never once thought of Ryan that way, but suddenly I felt sick to my stomach. I tried to explain myself. "I didn't know," I said, my voice trembling. "We're just friends. I never meant to cause any problems." Sophie seemed to accept that, though I could still hear the hurt in her voice. "I'm just asking you to stay away from him," she said softly. "I don't want this to destroy us." Guilt washed over me, even though I hadn't done anything wrong on purpose. The last thing I ever wanted was to hurt someone, especially a woman I'd never even met. After I hung up the phone, I sat there for what felt like hours, replaying every conversation Ryan and I ever had. None of it had felt wrong in the moment, but now it felt like I'd stumbled into something far more complicated than I ever imagined. The next day, Ryan walked into the shop like always. He waved when he saw me, but his smile looked different this time. Off. I knew we needed to talk. "Ryan, can we talk for a second?" I asked quietly. He nodded, and we stepped into a corner of the shop, away from the other customers. "Claire, what's going on?" he asked, clearly confused. "Sophie called me," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. "She said she's your wife. I had no idea." Ryan's face went pale in an instant. "I should have told you," he said, his voice thick with regret. "I didn't want you to stop talking to me. I thought if you knew the truth, everything would change." A wave of sadness and frustration hit me at once. "But you have a wife," I said. "Why didn't you just tell me?" He looked down, avoiding my eyes completely. "I didn't want to hurt you, Claire. You matter to me, but so does Sophie. I just didn't know how to handle any of it." I shook my head, feeling the sting of betrayal settle in. "This isn't okay, Ryan. You can't have both of us in your life like this. It's not fair to Sophie, and it's not fair to me either." His eyes filled with pain. "I know," he said softly. "I'm sorry, I made a huge mistake." "I can't be part of this anymore," I told him. "You matter to me too, but I won't keep talking to you if it means destroying your marriage. That's not fair to Sophie." He looked absolutely devastated. "Please don't walk away from me," he begged. "I have to," I whispered. "You need to fix things with Sophie. I won't be the reason your marriage falls apart." He didn't say another word after that. I could see how lost he looked, but I knew I had to stay strong. I walked away from that conversation heartbroken, but certain I'd made the right choice. In the days that followed, I threw myself into work, trying to keep my mind busy. Every time Ryan walked in, my chest would tighten. But I kept reminding myself of what Sophie had said. She was his wife. I had no right to get in the way of that. A few days later, I decided to reach out to Sophie myself. I wanted to clear the air completely and make sure she knew I never meant to hurt her, or Ryan. I called her, and we agreed to meet at a park nearby. When I arrived, Sophie was already sitting on a bench, looking exhausted but resolved. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. "I'm so sorry about all of this," I replied. "I never wanted to come between you and Ryan." She nodded slowly. "I know you didn't," she said, "but I need to understand what happened. What was your relationship with Ryan really like? How close were you two?" We talked for a long time. I explained that Ryan and I had simply become friends, nothing more. We shared books, talked about writing, and enjoyed each other's company. I never thought twice about it until she called me that night. "I never wanted to hurt you," I said. "That's why I'm stepping back now. I just wanted you to know the truth." Sophie looked at me, and for the first time I saw a flicker of relief in her eyes. "Thank you, Claire," she said. "I appreciate your honesty." "I want to fix things with Ryan. I'm going to fight for our marriage." I nodded, feeling a strange sense of peace settle over me. "I hope you two can work it out," I told her. "I'll step aside and let you handle it." We said our goodbyes, and I left the park carrying a mix of emotions I couldn't quite untangle. I knew I'd done the right thing, even though it hurt. It wasn't easy, but I couldn't stay tangled up in something that wasn't mine to be part of. A few weeks later, I heard from Sophie again. She told me that she and Ryan were working on their marriage. They'd started going to counseling, trying to rebuild what they'd lost. I felt genuine relief for her. I was happy they were giving their relationship a real chance. I kept showing up to work, focusing on myself and the life I was building. I realized that doing the right thing isn't always the easiest path, but it's the one that actually helps you grow. I felt stronger now, and I understood something I hadn't before. Sometimes love and respect mean walking away for everyone's sake. I still work at that same coffee shop today, pouring coffee and meeting new people every day. Life goes on, and I've learned that doing the right thing, even when it hurts, makes you a better person in the end. It stung, but I could see clearly that letting go was the healthiest choice for everyone involved. Then, one morning, while I was working my usual shift, I saw Ryan again. He walked in, but this time he didn't sit by the window. He went straight to the counter, ordered his coffee, and took a seat near the door instead. Our eyes met for a moment, and I noticed something different in the way he looked at me. No more sadness, no more tension. It was like he had finally made peace with everything that happened. He smiled gently, and for a brief second I felt an unexpected calm wash over me. "I'm doing better," Ryan said softly as he stood up to leave. "Thank you for everything, Claire. I've learned a lot from all of this." I smiled back at him, even though it was bittersweet. "I'm glad, Ryan," I said. "I hope you and Sophie find happiness together." He nodded, and with that, he walked out of the coffee shop for the last time. I watched him go, knowing that this chapter of my life had finally, completely, closed.